Buenos dias, or welcome back to another episode of the BambooSZN Podcast. I'm your host, sober wellness coach Dorian Wormsley. This podcast is sponsored by Dorian Wormsley Wellness, a coaching business created to help you build a strong body and clear mind through sobriety and fitness. Speaking of sobriety and fitness, if you're looking to begin your sobriety journey or your fitness journey, maybe even together, don't know where to start, I've created a 30-day ebook, easy to follow for 30 days to help kickstart your journey. You go at your pace, you start with small steps, and you go great distances. Now, my guest today is a dynamic force in the world of entertainment. She's an actress, TV personality, MC. You might have seen her on the Morning Blend here in Las Vegas. I bring you the amazing, fierce, phenomenal JJ Snyder. Woo!
What's up?
Man.
Thought you were going to give me another F there.
Oh,
that was good.
I should have. I should have.
I am so glad to be on the show. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for making time. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love just having people who have great stories, who don't mind telling it, who are open, vulnerable, and boom, there you were. Now, we got connected, I think more recently through John, who John was a guest on my podcast about 2 weeks ago or so.
John D. Domenico.
Yeah, amazing guy. He is just phenomenal. His energy. He was the MC of a speaking event I was at, a speaking competition I was a part of. So he was the MC, introduced me, came up to me after my talk and told me how my talk kind of resonated with him, losing his brother to alcoholism. So after that, I was like, oh man, I need to hear more of your story and have you on. But also, don't know if you remember or not, we initially met 2.5 years ago, 2023. I came on the Morning Blend for Black History Month and did a short, what's it called, segment, I guess, with you and I don't know the gentleman's name, forgot. But that's where I initially met you. And then here we are 2 years later, and I got you on my podcast to see a little more about you, what you've been doing.
It's like a full circle
Yeah.
moment. So what I remember from you when you came on TV with me that morning was that you were just so positive, and we got to get up out of our chairs, have a little activity, because I feel like so much of our life, these days is about sitting in front of a screen and doing things that we have to do.
Yeah.
And so you came in and you said, you know what, we're going to move. We're going to get some positivity going. And people respond so well to that. People are dying to move. People are dying to feel good.
Yeah.
To be active.
Now for
I
you,
love that.
Now, as of now, you're TV personality, you MC, you're also an actress, you do live events. Let us know, how'd you get even into TV? Because it didn't happen overnight. You didn't come here just yesterday. It was a journey. What point did you get into TV and entertainment?
I started performing when I was really young. So my career has gone like this in terms of performing live and performing in front of the camera. And there's been times when I've been 9 to 5, 5 days a week on a show, working for ABC in Los Angeles, or I was a producer on America's Most Wanted.
Oh, wow.
For a bit when I first started in television, and kind of switched over from acting to journalism. And that's when I really found my passion, because I was like, oh, I got to really contribute, because this is what I was wanting to connect.
Let me ask you something. Because I really don't know.
Yeah.
What is journalism entail exactly?
I think I'll say I'm journalist light, right? So
Okay.
I've always been, first I started in crime television, being a producer, helping find stories, listening to people's stories, helping connect them to law enforcement resources that can help them solve the crime. But then I moved into entertainment journalism. Again, it's really about listening. So it's a little different than many of my friends in town who are the 5 o'clock news anchors.
Gotcha.
At Channel 13 or Channel 8 right now. Those folks have a very clear path typically. They go to school for journalism. They start out in a small market. Especially I think back in the day, they're adhering to pretty strict journalistic standards. I think those standards are probably, a lot of people would say, have loosened a lot, kind of with the advent of social media. But for me, I came into all of this through entertainment journalism. So I went from being an actor to LA to interviewing actors on the red carpet in LA. And the secret of my success, all hustle.
Wow. What a surprise.
Very few breaks.
Yeah.
All hustle. I went from, I was acting and I started getting a lot of jobs as a spokesperson in LA. And our friend off camera here has a family member in Irvine. So Irvine, or Orange County to Los Angeles, is where all of the corporate films are made. So it's like Hollywood is doing the TV and the movies and the creative projects. And if you're filming like a corporate video for Canon cameras or maybe a Coca-Cola commercial, you might be doing that in Orange County.
I'm from Orange County.
Do you know what I'm saying then? How it is such a corporate center? I mean, a lot of companies have their corporate center in Orange County, right?
Okay.
It's kind of a financial center.
I mean, I moved away at a young age.
Okay.
But I can understand the concept of it, yeah.
Well, I started getting these gigs in Orange County, which to an LA actor, it's not that series regular gig you wanted. It's kind of like, well, I can't get a series regular gig, but I'm getting these, great corporate gigs. Well, guess what? I kind of love those corporate gigs. Because I liked meeting people from Home Depot and learning about what their campaigns were this year and then being the voice of that campaign and being in a business suit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And being taken as like a blonde chick who was 27, 28 years old, being taken a little more seriously than I was maybe at LA, auditions for, name that sitcom.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's sort of like a pretty contest most of the time. So I kind of found my niche. And when I started being in those business suits and kind of talking with companies, and I realized I really like listening. I really like being a professional. Like I like this. There's something for me here. And so I went back to school for journalism.
And well, let's go all the way back then. Where are you from originally?
Washington State, from a horse farm.
Horse farm?
Yeah.
And what prompted you to make the move? I guess the next was LA. Was it because you wanted to be an actress and that's where?
Yeah, I was just a community theater kid.
Okay.
What were you into when you were little? Did you have a thing?
Not really. Sports. I guess sports.
Well, sports.
Yeah, sports. Probably the main thing.
Love it.
Yeah. But as somebody with two parents who are 5'4", there was no real upside of thinking I'd make it to any kind of professional level. To be 5'9" now, I love it. Two parents 5'4", I'm like, damn. Nothing against people that are short or tall. I don't want people to try to counsel for anything. But I was grateful that I did get to at least a decent height.
Dude, you outgrew your genetics.
Yeah.
Like your mom and dad are the same height.
Yeah.
And I mean, that right there is indication of your success story. You were bound to go bigger. It's awesome.
Well, before I get to that question.
Yeah.
So you started in the horse farm. You're into theater. Where'd you go next? Did you go to LA next?
So my parents, so we were talking a little bit about religion.
Yeah.
Before the camera started rolling. And we have something in common, that both of our mothers are Catholic. So I was kind of, it was a plan for me to go to the Catholic high school in my town. I went to Catholic grade school. I'm a typical rebellious Catholic girl.
Yeah.
In every way. The Billy Joel song, the whole thing. Like, that's me, for sure. And then as I got closer to high school, my brother and sister went through the high school. It was amazing education, small classrooms. What I can say now, what I used to think, I kind of rolled my eyes at as a kid, I can say, like, good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Good values, people with good values. In general, we're part of that school system. The school shut down 2 years before I was supposed to go to high school. I was the youngest in my family. And my parents said, no way are you going to that Catholic high school, or sorry, the public high school in our town, because we know the way that's going to go. And that's, it's not for you. We got to figure out like kind of a better form of education for you. I had, educational kind of values in my background, right? Like my grandmother was a teacher, my grandfather was a minister, just like, education was kind of everything, right? So my parents got me into a performing arts high school.
Mm.
And it just completely put me on a different path.
Was that because they wanted to kind of keep you out of, in a sense, possible trouble by going to a regular public school?
Oh, yeah.
So we can't get you to a Catholic school. We're going to send you to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they just barely, they were pushing me out of harm's way because I was getting wild real quick.
Were you?
I was coming out of Catholic school. There was all these things happening I had never seen before.
Mm.
There was boys.
So your Catholic school was all girls.
There was beer. I mean, no, it was guys and girls.
Okay.
But you got to understand, I'd been going to school with these kids since I was in kindergarten. So these are my brothers. These are still people in my life I consider my brothers. You know, like a small group of people, 20 people, guys and girls who went to school with each other since they were 6 years old. So it's not like really a lot of romance happening.
What's the city?
Yakima, Washington.
I've heard of it. Never been. Is that outside of Seattle?
It's on the dry side of Washington State. Oh. So it's the non-rainy. It's where your apples come from.
Yakima. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. And then at what point did you move to LA?
So I went to Performing Arts High School in Michigan.
Yeah.
And that was like my whole, you know, when you kind of found your passion. And I don't know what that was for you, but I know that you have rediscovered yourself for sure. I'm fascinated by your story in the last 10 years. But for me, like when I went away from the farm and went to this arts high school surrounded by musicians and dancers and poets and history majors, and it was just like my whole world just went, wow, yeah. It was just awesome.
It's interesting. I heard, are you familiar with Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, totally.
So I heard
Love
him,
Dave Chappelle.
one of his specials, he was talking about that, which I didn't know his history of upbringing was. Saying he went to a very prestigious performing arts college or high school, I think. A lot of acts that came out of that high school he went to. I forgot the name of it. He donates back to it and all that. And he was just telling kind of what you just said of like, you're around these people who are guitar and art and acting. And it's just, when I grew up, that was not a thing that you wanted to really do, acting or theater. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Because now as I'm older and I do podcasts and I don't mind being on camera, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have done that because I think I'd be a really good actor at this point in time in my life. So if you're looking for somebody, let me know.
Right here.
Yeah.
Well, it's like hindsight's 2020. It's so hard to look back and go, oh man, at that age. Like I can go back to really any age and go like, right there. Should have done that, do this, do that. Like I'd like to go back and just like be my own personal manager. But we can't do that. But we can try to master ourselves in 2025, right?
Yeah.
And I think you and I are both very much trying to do that at the moment.
Yeah. And so you came to Vegas. What was your first, Vegas, LA. What was your first gig or job in the entertainment?
Waiting tables at Larry Parker's 24-hour hip hop diner.
And was that because you're waiting to get a gig, like an acting gig? Like,
yeah.
Really?
Do you know how many of me there are? Do you know when there is a call? Let's put me back just out of college. 21-year-old girl, funny, athletic build, maybe blonde, improv comedy background preferred. That's me. Oh my God. What is this audition? Let me get ready. What am I going to wear? That's me. Walk in the door. Holy crap. There's 75 of me.
Damn.
How am I going to get this job? I'm not.
Oh, shit.
And you rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And at some point you get your first gig. So my coolest job, one of my first coolest jobs was a very small role in the film Coyote Ugly.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing film, huge budget.
Yeah.
So professional from the time I auditioned to that, to the first call, to the wardrobe fitting, to the rehearsals, to meeting the other actors. It's just the level of professionalism when you're on a Hollywood set like that is so exciting. It's just exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about like when everyone, when you're on camera and everyone's eyes are on you. It's even before that. It's just so exciting. And I met some really cool people on that set. Had a tiny part, But I got that role because they were looking for someone who could improvise, a couple of us chicks. And that I could do. So it's like I kind of got it on merit.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
that was exciting.
let me ask you this. So at 21, you're waiting tables and you're going to auditions.
Mm-hmm.
How did it feel when you did go to audition and you didn't get it that first time? In your head, when you went to it, did you think, finally, I'm ready, I'm going to get it? And then they're like, no.
Okay, let me take you to that place.
Take me.
Because it's not over, because I still audition through my agent in LA. There's this natural hope process that starts to happen. So like you start to see yourself. You're getting the audition, you're reading the details, you find out who's in the project, you get the character breakdown, and you get your sides. And a little part of your brain has the job. And wow, this is so cool because I worked with that guy on this last project. And this is really great because it's filming in, I don't know, name a place.
Yeah.
Croatia in May.
Ooh.
And I want to go to Croatia in May. Da-da. So you got to tell your brain, shh, focus. Because there's so many factors. There's so many factors at why people get roles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you have to do your very best. I have to do my very best. And I think a lot of what happens is honestly not being prepared as you should be, because it's really about being as off book as you can, about having those words in your in your mind, in your mouth, doing whatever you need to do to get in the space of the emotion and being present in the scene. And the whole time you're prepping, I think, for that audition, that other brain is going on. I'm going to get this. I look right. What am I going to wear? And kind of asking to distract you from your preparation with the fantasy of getting this role, right? That's just my process. So I will tell you, as much as I can try to quiet that voice that wants the thing, and focus on my preparation and being present and really just going through all these things that I know I need to go through. Dorian, when I get a script, there's certain words that I might get tripped up on. I got to go through that thing and I got to highlight those. And I got to know that word's coming, that word's coming. I probably got to write it out phonetically. Because if I get tripped up on that word, it's probably going to trip up my next moment. So it's like knowing all these things about myself and being as prepared as I can be. And, you know, being your best self. Like, camera work is about a visual, right? So there's a physical reality to booking a role in LA. I mean, the beautiful people become stars.
Yeah.
A lot of beautiful people become stars. So it's finding out, like, where do I fit?
So when you got the first no, when you first got there, you're young, feeling good, you look good, you're like, I'm gonna get my role, and they say no. How did you feel that first time? Did it make you want to quit?
Awful. I mean, one of the worst rejections I ever had is I didn't get Liesl in The Sound of Music when I was 13.
Damn, at 13.
I might have been 14, you're right, because Liesl's 16. And this really busty girl who was about 15 got it, which, I mean, in hindsight, she was right for it. Carly Sturgeon. That was, I mean, I cried in the parking lot because I didn't get that role. Yeah. So my parents, like, this is the key. My parents just raised me that you have to work hard. So the example I had of both of my parents in separate ways working so hard that I was like, didn't get it, gotta try again. Didn't get it, gotta try again. Didn't get it, gotta try it in. So
from 13 or 14 to where you're at now, when it comes to I want to call it rejection, not getting a role, do you feel like your processing it has changed?
Yeah.
And what was it before? What is it now? And how did you change that mindset on it? As opposed to, oh my God, I didn't get it. So distraught, stressed, if you were that, I don't know if you were, compared to now, as you've been doing it for some time, you might think, okay, I know where I messed up, or that just wasn't for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. We all want to be liked.
I don't. I've let that go. I mean, I'm gonna say I want to be disliked, but the idea of like, I want everybody to like me, I can't.
Well, I'm much less concerned about that than I was at a younger age. Okay. So I agree. I'm glad that you're working through all that, because pleasing other people is really exhausting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I still have I think my dream of what I want to do is as strong as it was when I was 18 and just starting to go on auditions in LA.
Yeah.
And driving with my Thomas guide. And anyone who lived in LA back in the 90s, that's a pretty good reference. But navigating like all over Los Angeles to go get these job opportunities. I'm still like super filled with passion for what I do, for sure. I feel a lot more in control of my fate, because as I see you doing in this studio right now behind this podcast mic, you're kind of creating your own content, right?
Yeah.
You're taking control of your story. And so I think I've had a few opportunities fall through this year. In 2025, I've had some great ones come up also. But I've had some disappointments. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the 13-year-old a little bit.
Wow.
But then I have gratitude at all the things I do have. I'm finding right now that I'm really into, you and I connected over the fact that you've been sober for how long?
Just over 3 years.
Okay. And I have just been alcohol free for 6 months.
Congrats to you.
Yeah.
That's a big feat. Can we get a hand clap? Hey. Yeah, that's amazing.
So I feel great about that, because like, that's something great. I'm not waiting for someone else to give to me. I'm giving it to myself.
Yes.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy. I just had like such a strong craving for beer. So I was walking out of WrestleMania this weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was walking past that area outside of T-Mobile. I went to the T-Mobile event. So I'm in front of New York, right? And there's all those outdoor bars. And I've been to some of those bars. Like, it is fun right there. And I love that vibe. Like, that's a good spot on the Strip. And I get a whiff of beer. I mean, just straight out like fresh beer. And I was like, oh, I love beer. Because I really do love beer. Like I'm a country girl. I don't know what you grew up drinking in Orange County, but.
I grew up here. I moved here in middle school. When I drank, it shifted throughout the years. When I first started, it was anything like vodka, mainly because it was cheap.
Oof.
Then I got into my 20s, switched to Hennessy, then Jameson, then tequila towards the last few years.
Okay.
And everything always straight. I was never a drink mix person. Like, no, I want it straight. Beer, I would drink in between to kind of be the filler, because you can't just drink shot, or you can. But as the filler, but beer was never like my biggest thing. It was always tequila, because it gets you there faster, I felt.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as opposed to a beer, it's heavy. Takes a while to get you. It won't get you as drunk unless you have a lot. But yeah, tequila was my shit.
Yeah. And it's so popular right now.
Yeah,
it's so popular. So I had that moment. Where I was like, oh, it just like smells so good. Like a chocolate chip cookie smells good. Like it smelled good. The beer smelled good. And I was like, and then I had that next moment of like, you know, I'm good. I really love feeling good. So let me just focus on that. I really love just feeling healthier and clear, and that's good too. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you, so what prompted you to decide I want to give up drinking at this point in my life?
I didn't really, so I wasn't drinking super heavily.
Yeah.
But I have, mostly in my 20s, I'd say. And there's nothing about the experience of drinking that was bringing any positivity to my life. And I'm I think I'm a woman. I'm hitting a certain like age of health where things are happening that are not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like my body's not just bounce back from anything, totally resilient. And I'm like, this is messed up. I want to be in control of where my health is. I want to be a little bit more in control. I want to feel the best I can be. I really want a six pack. Like I've never really had a six pack, but like if I really wanted to, I could do that. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. I definitely, on a practical note, I'll have 3 beers and I'll have a hangover for 48 hours.
Oh, damn.
48 hours.
2 business days.
Now I can fake my way through it.
Yeah.
But I have a hangover for 48 hours. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. Like I had an interview. I have a good friend who is a friend of John D. Domenico's as well. She's a journalist in town, Stacey Galandi.
Okay.
She's also worked in entertainment news for decades. She's just amazing. And she and I interviewed Mark Wahlberg at his new restaurant, Fletcher in Town Square. This was, I think, in February. No, it might have been earlier than that, January, a few months ago. And I've been kind of making fun of people like making such a big deal about Mark Wahlberg. I'm like, okay, you guys, we have an A-list celebrity, calm down. Because like in LA, there's just so many A-list celebrities everywhere. So I'm like, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, his movies are good, but calm down. Like Vegas is like, oh my God, did you hear? He's at Fontainebleau. I'm like, I know, calm down. So I do this interview with him and he rolls in and he has this priest coming because he's going to have him bless the bar at Fletcher. And I'm like, that's pretty ballsy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't be popular in Hollywood to do that. Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty ballsy. And then he's talking about his fitness routine. And I know he takes these ice baths and everything.
Yeah.
But then I got this guy in front of me and he's still got his workout clothes on and he's clean shaven and he's talking about fitness and he's talking about his family and he's talking about all his businesses. And Dorian, something in me just was like, oh my God, this guy's about my age. This is kind of what success looks like at my age. This guy's cool. Like I was a Catholic schoolgirl rebel. I was all about being bad. You know what I mean? And wild and doing anything and meeting anyone and going anywhere and saying yes. And I don't know. I've really, really changed, In
that moment?
No.
Like meeting him,
no.
Oh.
It was just, no. I mean, it's just been a natural process, I'd say, over the last 10, 15 years. It's just, focus. What am I focusing on? What am I focusing on?
What,
you know what I mean?
What have you noticed, if you have anything since you gave up alcohol 6 months ago, anything you've noticed in yourself physically or mentally that's changed?
Yeah, I love feeling rested and clear on going out with people, waking up the next morning and feeling absolutely rested and clear. I love actually that I'm more honest with people, like when I'm out in a social situation. Can we talk about some of the things that are hard? Because people don't love when you don't have a drink. A lot of people don't like it. They want you to have fun. And they're willing to low grade pressure you a little bit because you're not drinking reminds them that that's a choice they could be making.
Yeah.
And they don't like it. And so also, I don't want to be like that party pooper person. You know what I mean? So I've kind of like New Year's, I went out and I'm going to be like, I'm going to be wild. So this is why I said I feel like I'm in junior high again. I am like going out, dancing, screaming, meeting people, jumping on the backs of people I just met, and I'm totally sober. And I feel like I'm in junior high again because I'm like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to be just as wild as I want to be. I still want to be loud and have fun and meet people. Can I do that without a buzz?
So were beforehand, were you only doing those things with alcohol and stuff?
I mean, I think so. In general, I have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But in general, my wildest times since I was in high school have involved alcohol. My wildest, funnest, gut-wrenching, 10 friends, memories, all night, all afternoon. Remember that trip? I mean, it's
you was out here living the dream.
It's alcohol fueled a little, right?
Yeah. Do you feel now, it's been 6 months, do you feel like you're able to still be JJ Snyder, who you've been without the alcohol?
Oh yeah. I mean, because my primary persona is like, I'm a morning show host, really. Yeah. I mean, I'm still considering myself a morning show. So, alcohol and even when I was in LA, late night entertainment, doing red carpets, you're up till 3, 4 a.m., right? So you got to be sober for that. So I've always had, a work persona that really didn't involve alcohol, but in terms of social life and even going to a gala here, how do you go to a fundraiser here and not have alcohol? It's not super easy because you're a little bit of a loner, but man, I've been noticing more and more people doing it.
I used to feel kind of that way of like, man, you're going to be the awkward person because you're the one not drinking at the event or you're the one not drinking out with friends or anything like that. But now, it's been some time now, but now I feel like the most powerful one in the room. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one that's not drinking. I don't feel like I need to, which I think a lot of people do feel that, like they have to because it's an event. Everybody's doing it. Why wouldn't I do it? And that's what a mentality of, like I like to call sheep. You're just following the herd, doing what everybody else is doing. You don't even know why you're drinking. You're just doing it because it's an event. I have to. They're doing it. Why not me? But when you think of, like you said, success, Mark Wahlberg, I don't know all the most successful people in the world personally, but in my head, I would like to think if so-and-so was in this room, the Zuckerberg, the Warren Buffett, do you really think they would be drinking? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
I agree with you because what I have seen, and I've seen it over and over, the other critical event I should mention is that one of my childhood dearest family friends died of alcohol use in the first 2 months of the pandemic.
Wow. What happened?
He was an alcoholic.
And it just took him out.
Did
you know that before? Like knowing him as younger and through the years that he would drink like that?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. And so when you lose somebody and your first thought is, why didn't I do more? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's not a joke. So what I have noticed is it's super, like, I'm all about being around people having a couple beers and spending sometimes like people stop and they have that quality time. Like we're having quality time right now, I feel. But a lot of times people don't just stop and sit down and take the time to, kind of talk with each other without a cocktail. I mean, it's part of the ritual. I think it's what they say about, I smoked for 6 months. But it's kind of that smoke break thing, right? If here's this time where we kind of it's like a ritual.
Yeah.
So I value that, but I've also just seen it go so bad so often. And I just don't appreciate what it's doing to my body and my mind right now. So
that's amazing for
I don't
you
know.
For being aware and making the change, especially with the field of work you're in and the people you're around. I'm sure there's events all the time where it's rare you go to an event and there's not alcohol. Nights, games, like you said earlier, charity events, fundraising events, galas. It's part of it. And I don't push sobriety on anybody because there's people who can go out to a gala, could go out to an event, have a good cocktail.
And have a glass of wine and love it. And I envy those people.
Because I wasn't that. I was the person that once I get the whistle wet and I feel the buzz, let's go. Pour the shots. No more fucking martinis. I need tequila straight. Make it a double. Please, Julio. I need it. And Blackout Town. I used to look forward to it. I used to look forward to escaping. I couldn't wait. But now here we are sober. And I don't need to escape anymore. I feel comfortable in my own skin. I feel comfortable being in a room full of people who are drinking. Like my friends, they still drink. But depending on the situation, I'll decide to attend or not. If it's just a situation where you're getting together just to get fucked up, I probably won't be there. But if it's like my birthday, me and a good friend of mine share the same birthday. A few of us went out to brunch, and some of them get mimosas, stuff like that. I get it, do it. It's something to celebrate. But if it's just getting fucked up to get fucked up, I'm like, why are we still getting fucked up how we did in our early 20s now? I just don't see the benefit of it. What are you trying to escape is what I think every time. Because I know for me, when I was getting blacked out, that's what I was doing. I was trying to escape the life that I didn't like.
It's powerful. The drugs and alcohol there, it's powerful. I mean, I've seen it time after time, just grab a hold of people, right? Yeah. It's not like you can be bigger than it if it...
Once you get going.
Right.
Now for you, so you're starting to go back to your life. This is what this is about. You were in LA, you started acting, you got some roles, you got some no's, but you still kept pushing. And what brought you to Las Vegas from LA and acting?
So when I came to Las Vegas, I really already transitioned from acting into, I'll say journalism, but it's really entertainment journalism.
Okay.
And I think because I have such an acting background, I'm really what you consider like a personality.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not just the interview, it's like how the interview's done.
Yeah.
Or it's not just going to, go climb to the top of the Strat and jump off it. It's how it's done.
Right? Have you done that?
So I haven't done that, but I have rappelled down the side of Caesar's Palace.
Really?
With someone I think you know, Jeff Savilico.
I do know Jeff.
Jeff and I were dangling over Caesar's Palace, looking out. It was when Donnie and Marie were still performing at the Flamingo.
Wow.
So we were looking out at their giant faces.
Was it an event or you guys just did it like, hey?
It was a charity event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You're brave.
We did it to raise funds. That was scary. That was scary. So for me, my evolution from acting into kind of being a personality on TV and interviewing people, connecting with people, creating content, that was a huge, awesome transition in my career. And I was in entertainment news in LA. I did some after shows at Kevin Undergaro, who's Maria Menounos' husband. He used to be a big producer on E!
Okay.
I worked at his digital network for a minute, and that's where I really got the passion for new media. I mean, this is back in like 2014, 2015, where people are really, like the YouTube studio popped up on the west side of LA, and people are really starting to emphasize like online content.
Yeah.
So I love TV, but I love new media also. I love the freedom. I love like how many people now like listen to podcasts as their main form of entertainment throughout the day. And I'm talking about people maybe in my age group, and how many people learn things from YouTube, like study languages on YouTube. It's like so exciting.
I didn't think about that. Studying language. I'm trying to learn Spanish. And do you speak Spanish?
Solamente un poco. Un poco.
Hey, that was good. I don't know what you said, but you know.
A little bit.
Okay. That was good. I just came back from Guatemala, and that's where I really realized.
How was it?
Oh, phenomenal. One of the best. I've only been in 2 countries, Costa Rica and Guatemala.
Ooh.
And one thing about Guatemala is English. It's there, but in Costa Rica, it was much more easier to get around with English. I think it's more touristy.
Yeah.
Guatemala, everybody was Guatemalan from the airport to some knew English, some didn't. But one thing I found interesting was I went to this lake. It's called Lake Atitlan. It's a lake out there. And at that lake, the cities around it, their main language is Mayan. Yeah, which I didn't know. Their secondary language is Spanish. So I'm hearing them talk, and I'm like, what? And it's so interesting, but so cool, because where I was staying at a retreat, but it's in the city. So as we're walking from the retreat down to the lake, we're walking through the neighborhood, and you can just see all the pretty much Mayans living in their huts, and not huts, but like shacks, you know. And it was, how do I explain the word? I don't want to say it was cool. I guess interesting to see, be in the city like that, to see them, but also like eye-opening of like how great we have it here. Because they were taking baths, living in a bucket outside. I could see them. I know, pretty sure they don't got run like hot water or anything like that. So it was like eye-opening in that sense. Like I need to be, can make sure I'm grateful.
We take a lot of our resources just for granted.
The most simplest stuff, man. And
yeah,
to them, they're living it up. I don't think they probably have any complaints too much because they don't know. That's one thing I took from that too, was like, we're exposed to so much with social media that we feel like we don't have. People like that back there living in their huts and everything, they might have social media, might not, but they don't. I doubt they feel they're missing out or don't have everything they need. They got their family, they got their community, they got their food. Here, we have all that, and we'll still feel we need more.
Disconnected.
Yeah. Very disconnected.
Right.
Very.
Yep.
And I can't speak for everybody, but sometimes I feel within these here in Vegas, some of the connections or community aspect comes down to like, what can you do for me? Sometimes I get that vibe from people out here, is like they don't want to connect or anything unless you could do something for them.
Well, that's a very LA typically.
Well, that's
what
what
they
Vegas
say is an
seems
LA
to
vibe.
That's what Vegas seems to turn into these days.
Yeah.
You try to connect with people or anything, just they will, but it's if they get something out of it, which I think is as ugly as people. It should never be
it's
that
like
way.
Transactional relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Transactional.
Yeah.
And for me, my approach to people and anything is like, what can I do to help you, JJ, feel better, become better, support your vision or mission? Because in return, it'll come back to me whenever it does. And if it doesn't, who cares? You know, my purpose is I think the purpose of people should be to help others in whatever way you can. I don't got the funds to support everything you're doing, but maybe I can show up and bring one of my clients. That will help you feel supported and loved. And I think those little gestures, we don't realize how far and big they go. Going to somebody's event, even if you, like I said, you can't pay for it or anything, if you just showed up, like it's JJ's first event she's putting together, and I show up with me and Quan show up, how that's going to make you feel like, oh, damn, they actually came. And I only say that because I know from my experience, when I've done events and I do events still, sharing it on social media is great. I love that. Like, it's great to show support. But when you actually come and I see you there, it's like, it gives me a sense of confidence, and it just feels so good knowing like, okay, I can do this. Even if it's one or two people, somebody I know is there or anything. Oh, man. So out to those people who are listening, you know somebody with an event or anything, they're doing something out the ordinary, show up. Even if you don't want to. I've had to force myself sometimes. I honestly, as outgoing as I come or see, sometimes I'm very, I don't want to be around people.
Oh, yeah. I struggle with that a lot. Yeah. That, or someone asks you to do something, you commit to it, right? This is so human. And then it rolls around 2 weeks later and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, it's here.
Do I have to go to that tonight? And it's not even, right? It's not even usually do I have to be there in that room? It's sort of arranging your life, and you're getting yourself there and putting other things aside, right?
I've learned to say no initially.
Oh, tell me how to do. I'm working on no.
Yeah.
Everyone in my life knows this, and I'm getting better at it. So tell me, can I invite you to something?
Yeah.
Okay. This is fictitious, so we're just.
Oh, I was excited like that.
We're modeling. We're just modeling behavior. Oh man, hey, I got this great event. I'm throwing a fashion show where like you come and we all have a fashion show like at noon, and it's focusing on male clothes. Like, do you want to come? I'd love to RSVP you.
When is it?
Oh, it's July 1st, Canada Day. It's also in coordination with Canada
I appreciate you
Day.
thinking of me, but I don't think I'll be able to make it. If anything changes, I'll shoot you a text, let you know. It's that simple.
Mhm.
I promise. Like, I used to think it was a big ordeal, but it's like, I used to worry and think like, oh, I got to make something up. I don't like saying I can't make it because that's lying.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make it. I am lying. So I don't even say that. I just say I won't be able to be there, or I don't want to go, in a respectful way. I try
Did you, Quan? Did you buy his excuse?
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, okay. So I'm just gonna call you on this a little bit. So I felt a little sad.
That's okay.
Like I needed a little more attention. Like, oh man, I love that you're doing this. I don't know. I just needed you to just
Really?
coddle me
Okay, so
just a little more.
I gotta get better with it.
Because my self-doubt kicked in just a little bit. Like, oh, he just doesn't care about me.
I guess I could get better. I tried my best to be as honest as possible without saying, oh, I can't. I gotta go do this.
I hosted a morning show. Maybe I'll be good at it. Invite me to something.
Hey, JJ, I saw you rappelling down for charity. I am putting together a woman empowerment event for blonde women with athletic build that want to be actresses. This is your name all over it. I would love for you to be there and be the host of the event.
When is it?
When are you available?
Oh, damn. Really? Oh, he's good. Oh, my God.
Let's go for real. I was just joking. Okay. JJ, I just started planning this event.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you did charity work. It's going to be a charity event raising money for the youth sports here in Las Vegas. It's going to be, it's going to be on May 17th. It's a Saturday afternoon. Can you come?
Oh, May 17th. Oh, it's a Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right in God, there's so many events right now, aren't there?
Yeah, pick and choose.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going to write that down. Let me get back to you. I have this really strange, do you see all the backpedaling I'm doing? But this is how hard I would work to make you not feel bad. And then I'd be like, let me check with my husband. I just have this really weird feeling that maybe we're out of town that weekend, but I'll definitely get back to you.
Okay, well, I have time right now. Let's give him a call right now. Let's see. Let's pull out the calendar.
You should be a fundraiser.
Oh, I do sometimes. I don't mind
lock people in.
I don't mind getting intrusive and asking the questions and getting in there because that's what you have to do. People are gonna backpedal. People are gonna lie, whatever, and you got to be willing to get in there and get the real. We just got to be honest. People don't want to be honest. I don't want to go. I'm good at saying that now to my friends or anything. They know now sometimes to don't even invite me, because I'm very particular where I put my time and energy. You know, with my work, I train women, 12, 15 women a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like different energies. I got to show up for them. I got to be there. Because sometimes people think, oh, trainers, you don't do anything. You're just putting up weights. I'm like, no, energetically, I got to show up, help them with what they're dealing with, if it's anything outside of the gym. So by the end of that, sometimes my energy level, I'm like, you know, I just want to be at the house and not do anything.
You know what's interesting is I think that hosting a talk show is a similar energetic experience to training somebody, even in a gym, because you're a host really when you're a trainer, right? I'm hosting this workout session, right? I'm escorting you through. I'm holding up the energy. I'm welcoming you into this experience. I'm listening a lot.
It's a lot. Different women, different attitudes, different cycles.
Yeah.
They're on the same cycle together. They team up on me. It's just, I love it.
I'm really interested in why you chose to train women.
So what happened was I started off as a sales associate at Orange Theory Fitness.
Oh, yeah.
Working front desk. So that's how I got my foot in the door. And once I was there, working front desk for so long, I started to think about becoming a coach there, and I did. And just there in that gym, it's majority women. Like, you'll get a couple men here and there, but out of 24 slots in the room, 22 and a half are probably women. Randomly, I've had classes where it's all men, surprisingly, but that's just how it happened. So then through that, it became a comfort level for me. And as I've learned, I've been doing it for some years, they're just easier to train and funner to train sometimes. I've had male clients in the past. I don't mind But in my opinion, sometimes with men, it could be ego. So they're trying to relive who they used to be and this and that. Let's throw on the, bench. Let's go heavy. Let's go.
Results kind of.
Yeah, but
a little
more focused on going heavy and doing all that, as opposed to with women. I've learned they care more about, are they doing it right? They'll always ask, hey, am I doing it correctly? Am I doing it correctly? I would have to be the one forcing them to probably go heavier or grab the heavier weight. So that's where I see it. But I'm still open to training men if they, I've had some come to my boot camp. I don't mind it. But just with women, it's how it's happened, and it's been amazing. And I think it prepares me. I didn't do this on purpose, but it prepares me. I'm single, but it prepares me for whenever I do get a partner. I got like 15 different personalities to learn from. Some are married, some are single, some have kids. So I can kind of know how to maneuver.
You've got like all these sisters. You're getting this huge education.
Sisters' wives.
I love it.
I just started a reality show.
It's amazing. I mean, we were reflecting back a little bit to like the early days of my acting career in LA in the 90s and the early 2000s. And it's really interesting how weightlifting has become, it was valued back then, but it was a little bit more like Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
And I know you've heard this from your female clients, because like you might say, JJ, use a heavier weight, but I don't want to get big.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't want big old, I kind of have shoulders anyway.
Look at you.
I think
Nice.
you can tell, right? But that's
program.
That's farm girl stuff. Farm girl genetics.
Cow tipping?
Yeah.
No.
Shoveling hay more.
Okay.
Or tossing hay, yeah. A little of that. But the emphasis on lifting weights, like in 2025, it's just awesome how everything back in the 90s and the early 2000s was cardio. And like really everything we ate and did really was to reduce our size. Like, how can we be the smallest person that we can be? I mean, women.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think so many women, including myself, we've lived a lot of our lives just wanting to be the smallest version of ourselves possible. Right? And I'm trying to embrace that a little, because it's still in me. I'm like, I gotta run. I gotta burn calories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But weightlifting is just really has so much value in strengthening our bones, and it burns fat, right?
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because you've been on TV, you've been so many eyes are on you. How have you handled criticism, or people making comments, or people talking shit, or saying, I'm sure people, she don't know what she's talking about, or she's too this, too that. When you first started getting it, did it affect you?
I'm in this weird bubble, and I'm probably sounding really naive right now, but I'm in this weird bubble of lifestyle TV where everyone knows I'm not like breaking the big scandal in Vegas right now, or I'm not a 60-minute show.
Yeah.
So it's a little light. You know what I'm saying? And I really, truly believe that because I try to infuse positivity into my interviews, that I get a lot of positivity back.
I like that.
Some people think it's a little salesy when you're interviewing someone about a business. Yeah. I've interviewed hundreds, if not thousands, of local business owners in Las Vegas. And people say, oh, it's just an ad. You're helping them advertise. I'm like, no, I'm really actually curious. Like, I am curious about pest control. Like, I am.
I would be too.
I am.
That is interesting.
I am super interested in like foot health. Like, it's kind of interesting.
There's a show called My Feet Are Killing Me. Have you seen it?
No, I've heard about it.
Oh.
Have you been watching that?
Sometimes. I watch the clips. I haven't watched the full episode in a while, but it's a what's it called? Not dirty fantasy. What's it called?
Not like fetish.
No, girl, okay. What?
Sorry, I don't know.
My dirty pleasures. That was my guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah. So like I'll see the clips and I'm like, what?
Fetish wasn't that far off.
I guess. Okay, so
what?
So you haven't had much kickback when it comes to people?
No, and plus I did used to get voicemails at Channel 13.
Okay.
And I mean, the main thing, it's actually hilarious. I've kept some of the voice memos because they're so good.
Yeah.
So the main thing that people criticize about people on TV, take any news anchor at any Channel 8, Fox 5, Channel 13, 3. What kind of criticism? Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
The mic picked that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did it? Yeah. Ooh. We're about to start ASMR channel.
Ooh.
Damn. Go ahead.
Someone's rewinding that one. The main criticism people get is about how they look.
Oh.
The women get it probably a lot more, but it's a visual medium. So you get comments about your clothes, your hair, and your makeup. And no, I have to say Las Vegas has been pretty kind to me.
Wow.
I think the harshest criticisms I got about my physical appearance were definitely in the LA entertainment industry.
You know, it's crazy. I was in Guatemala, right, recently, walking through the city, and we go up to these people. Hey, what's going on here? And what are they doing? Asking them what was going on because they're painting the floor for Holy Week. So they do this whole thing. And the small talk with the lady, like, oh, where are you from? This and that, we're Vegas. She's like, oh, I was actually on the news in Vegas. I was like, really? From like 08 to 11. I forgot her name.
What?
Yeah, I was like, forgot her name. But she now lives in Colorado. And I wish I remembered her name. I think she said she did Fox 5 from 2008
to
2011.
A news anchor or reporter from LA, and you run into them
From Vegas.
in Guatemala.
Yeah, she was a reporter in Vegas.
That's
on the news.
amazing.
Yeah, I was like, what are the odds? I
Yeah.
wish I could remember her name. And for you, also, I want to know, were there anything you studied or did to help you get better with your interviewing?
Yeah, repetition. I am so about the school of repetition. I am so about that. Repetition, 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 repetition. And I had an excellent on-camera partner. I was on camera with Sean Tempesta, who's a morning radio host now in town. And he had already been on the show for 7 years when I joined the show.
Yeah.
And I sat next to him. And if you want to talk about like a pilot, co-pilot relationship, we had each other's backs. And he is so good at messing up and rolling right on through it.
I love that.
So one of the most magical things, and I've messed up, I've stumbled on my words a couple times in this podcast, and I'm going to get in my car afterwards and I'm going to go,
really?
yeah.
I'm not editing it out, so well.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to replay those because no one likes to mess up. What Sean taught me that is so genius is the less actual seconds you spend even caring about your mess up, don't go back and try to correct it. Oh, excuse me. What I meant to say was, you do that, move on. The quicker you let it go, so will the people watching. And I think he's right.
Yeah.
I think he's right.
I believe so.
Because our tendency is to apologize and apologize. And then sometimes people get embarrassed.
That's the problem. People too worried about looking a certain way to certain people. That's why, like with this podcast, there's nothing I stumble all the time. You can ask him. I say stuff. I mumble like whatever, cuss something. I don't know. I don't care no more. Because it's about the people, the person in front of me, their story and this and that. And there's no such thing as perfect.
People cut you a lot of slack, actually. This is the other thing. And this may be why I feel like the audience in Las Vegas has been so kind to me. Because I mess up a fair amount, you know. I'll be about to introduce, a guest and I'll literally forget their name.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that happens. And I think that people are so kind to me because I'm not trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
And so it's just a little bit of humanity.
I love that, JJ.
Right? And you got to laugh.
I have a question for you. We're going to wrap up here in a second. A few questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
One question after
Rapid fire.
Yeah. So why did you, we'll go into politics and religion right now.
Oh, yeah. Here's this has all been leading to this. Tariffs, go.
Because I did see a guy. So like I said, I'm not into politics or anything, but I saw a guy at the gym today, and his shirt said "Ultra MAGA," and I'm like, whoa! I've never seen that. I get it, you're a supporter, but Ultra MAGA, shit, bro, you saves a woman for us.
So he could have just instead of wearing the shirt, just walked around the gym and slapped everyone individually in the face one by one.
That was just a good shirt.
I'm here.
We get it, bro. You're here. But the question I have for you is, you're on TV, people will know you, you're at events, they kind of get a good feel of your personality and your life. Is there anything you think they don't know about you?
Yeah, that I really, really, really crave some alone time, and I really value silence. I actually can't be bubbly and extroverted and really listen to other people unless I spend part of my day like very quietly.
I love that because I feel the same. Most of my days, I'm home by myself, not doing nothing, but kind of just in stillness in a sense. And I don't purposely do it, but I guess that my body kind of goes to it because it knows I need to exert X amount of energy. Before the next question, I want to touch on what you said of comparing being a host to, I guess, being a trainer in a sense. Because I usually do 2 episodes in a row when I record.
Yeah.
And I used to tell myself, hey, I tell him like, hey, I want to do 4. But once I do 2, I'm like, whoa, that's it. Energetically, I'm just, if I were to do 3 in a row, I know I'd be.
Can I be your television producer, your podcast producer for a minute?
Of course. What's up?
You could do 4 at 25 minutes or 4 half hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Right. So there is, I used to know we did my, the morning blend completely virtually during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew how many hours a day, I could tell exactly how many hours a day I can stare into a camera and interview someone on what looks like a Zoom call. I can do it. I can do it for 3 solid hours. And then it starts to fall apart.
You?
Yeah, just my mouth, the just things start to fall apart. So yeah, you've figured out 2 is plenty.
No, it is 100%. Yeah. Some people might think people just think a lot of shit until they actually do it. I'll tell you that. A long story short.
Well, you know what? Then they should just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut up and do it. Right? Do you have a slogan?
Yes. For the podcast? Or in general life?
I guess I was thinking of you in the gym right now, but yeah, either or.
So for the podcast, you'll hear it at the end.
Okay.
But the last question, is there a quote you live by? And if so, what is it and why?
I brought it with me in my clear backpack that's sitting over on the couch. And it was, there's a guy in town. He's a poet. And he's the husband of a incredible woman. His name is Eric G. Miles. And I also met him on the blend, like I met you.
Oh, wow.
So I had the opportunity to meet so many cool people. That is one thing I really miss about that job. And he was on my show and he said, he was like, man, we just need to stop messing around. Like, we just need to bring today to the most positive place we can bring this. And I'm like, yeah, I was just feeling it. I was probably all caffeined up or whatever. And he said, yeah, JJ, we need to wake it up, take it up, and break it into the next level. And I was like, yeah. So I wrote it down on a card, and he delivered it in just such a authentic, awesome way. I wrote it down on an index card, and I kept it on my desk at Channel 13, and then now it's on my desk at home.
That's amazing. I like that.
I mean, I think, it just has to do with action and take action and move forward. And we're just we should be aiming upward, right?
Period.
Whatever that means.
Now, anything you got coming up in May we need to know about?
Yes.
What you have? Let us know.
I'm so excited. Okay. This Sunday, I'm hosting the Gold Awards for the Girl Scouts. These are the most excellent, most accomplished Girl Scouts in the entire area of the state.
Okay.
who have put together projects that have touched the community in so many different ways. And these girls are being honored. And it's kind of mind-boggling to see what like a 15, 16, 17-year-old girl can accomplish. It has me thinking like, could I have done that when I was that age? So I'm very excited about that. Also, I'm going to be hosting the fashion show for Opportunity Village. So Opportunity Village is just obviously one of the most beloved charities here in town. And they have an incredible facility that's opening in North Las Vegas. It's going to be their 5th campus.
Wow.
They're helping people of all ages with disabilities, helping them excel, helping them work, or just helping them receive care.
Okay.
You know, and support their families.
I'm
excited about that.
Any lasting words?
I just want to thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
And no, I mean, really, truly, thank you for inviting me in. And thanks for spreading positivity in Las Vegas. I love the people you've had on as guests, and I hope to come back one time.
Of course.
Maybe twice.
Maybe a few more. Maybe
I know.
make it a series, monthly thing.
Right.
Well, I appreciate you, JJ, for bringing your energy, personality, telling a bit of your story. I love that you are on your sobriety journey, testing it out, seeing how it goes. I salute you. Keep it going, because that's going to inspire people around you, and you're going to only get better. That's the only thing that's going to come from it, from personal experience. That's it.
That's what we're doing.
You're only going to get better. Thank you again, JJ Snyder, for coming on. I'll tag your Instagram into the description of this podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure you check her out. Hire for your next event. Best MC in Las Vegas, voted by yours truly, and I'm not a liar. So there's that. I'll leave you with some lasting words. Make sure you vet people yourself. Somebody else's experience with somebody or some business or product won't be the same for you. Don't believe everything you hear. I've had somebody recently hang out with me and was surprised at how I was as a person. I was looking at you, but because she was told some things about other people, and it was like, I'm surprised. And I'm like, that's why you got to vet people for yourself. My experience with JJ ain't gonna be the same with somebody else's. So do your due diligence, find out for yourself. 2 words, keep growing. That's the slogan. Keep growing.